We're going to talk about the unit circle. I've had 6 of my at-home students come pick one of these up. I definitely need you to get more of them. Everyone at home who hasn't had a chance, please stop by sometime Monday or Tuesday of next week if you can't get by the end of this week, and please pick up your packet. It will have a unit circle on one side, graphing on the other side, and it will have an erasable marker. Please don't lose any part of these. This is the marker that comes with it. Please, you will need it for the units after Christmas, but you need this for now. Again, remember, they will not have the tangents around it. The pen that I wrote here is the tangent for each of these. You need to make sure you watch that video and get these put in. Do not mix up the symbols. You can pause it at any time of the video to try to make sure you get them all, but you must put them in the right place. This is going to be the difference between you successfully completing this unit or making a 0. You're not going to be able to do it without this unit circle. Today we're going to talk about outside of the normal ones, which we saw the other day, like for example, sine of negative 150. Now I'm telling you, there are 3 main trig functions shown to you on the unit circle: sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine and tangent are affected by a negative number. If you see a negative angle degrees when you're dealing with sine or tangent, you're going to change the sign of your answer. Cosine is not affected by a negative. If you get a negative cosine, you're going to disregard it completely and do the problem just as you have. So sine of 150, the goal is still to start at your angle. We're going to go to 150. 150. Sine is the second one. Now that's a positive 1/2. However, because this says negative, you're going to change it to the opposite sign. Answer is negative 1/2. Same thing here. Tangent of 315, you're going to go to 315. 315, tangent is the one on the outside. It is a negative 1. But because this says negative, I'm going to change it to a positive 1. Whatever the answer is, you're changing the sign. Now we have cosine of negative 120. Again, we're going to go to the 120. Cosine is your first answer. Now that's negative 1/2. And I just said cosine is not affected by a negative number. Therefore, that's the answer. Nothing changes here. Just to give you an idea, I did all 3 of them for one angle. We have sine of 60 degrees, so I'm going to go to 60. The answer that they have here is a square root of 3 over 2, but sine is negative, so we're going to change the sign. Cosine at 60 degrees, that's that first one, 1/2. It does not matter that that is negative. Cosine is not affected by a negative. Your answer is 1/2. Last and final one, the tangent of 60 is the square root of 3, but tangent is affected by a negative, so you would change that to a negative number. Okay, now let's talk about other things. The unit circle is a circle because it repeats every 360 degrees. If I go around this unit circle and I hit here, which is 360, which I will see on y'all's, this is 360. This would be 390 because I'm just adding 30 degrees to it. Or I could add 45 degrees to it, or I could add 60 degrees, and I would have 360 plus 60 degrees, which is 420. Now what that means is if you see an answer like sine of 1020, that is obviously not on my circle because my circle only goes up to 360 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 1006 or 1020, and I'm going to subtract a full circle from it. So you put in your calculator 120 minus 360, we get 660 degrees. Still not on the circle. So we're going to take away another full circle, 360 degrees. Again, you're going to keep subtracting a circle until you find an answer that is on the unit circle. Now we get 300. 300 is most definitely on the unit circle. So this was what's called a reference angle. When I get 1020, I have to refer to 300. So I'm going to look at 300. Sine is my second answer. That's negative square root of 3 over 2. That's my answer. Same thing here for 14 pi over 3. A unit circle only holds 2 pi. If you want to see if your answer is on there, you say very simple, 14 over 3. That's bigger than 2. So it's not going to work. You're going to say 14 over 3 and you're going to subtract 2 from it because that's how many radian. Remember, this is degrees. This is radian. 2 radian is how much is in a circle. So when I do that, I get 2.66666, still not on the circle. Little bigger. So when I do that, you can keep it in fraction form by pushing math, enter, which is 8 over 3. 8 over 3 is still not on the unit circle, so one more time I would subtract 2 because we're dealing with radians here. And you get 2 over 3. Now remember, with radians, we're going to put that pi back on top. We just don't like putting a pi there because if you did, 2 pi over 3 gives you that gross number. And 2 pi over, that's not going to be easy to look at. So we're going to disregard the pi, but always remember to put it back on there. And 2 pi over 3 is on the unit circle. It's asking for the cosine of this 2 pi over 3. Cosine is the first answer in the ordered pair, which is negative 1/2. Your answer is negative 1/2. So you're going to do the same thing with this one. Tangent of 600. 600 is clearly not on the unit circle. So we're going to take a circle away. And now a circle in degrees is 360. That gives us 240. Now we'll look real quick. 240 is on the unit circle. Tangent is the one that's found on the outside, and that's square root of 3. Square root of 3 is your answer for this one. Now here we do with a sine. We have sine of negative 840. You are not addressing the negative when you're looking for your reference angle. You're just going to say 840 minus 360. When you do, you get 480. Still not on the unit circle, so you have to subtract another full circle in degrees. When you do, you get 120. Now that's less than 360, and it is on the unit circle. It says sine. Sine is your second answer, which is the square root of 3 over 2. However, this is when you address the negative. This negative means I have to change the sign. Negative square root of 3 over 2. Same thing here again. We have cosine of 19 over 6. Obviously not on the unit circle because when I divide, it is bigger than 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 from it because, again, we're dealing with the unit circle. Now we get in radians. So we have a degree here. It is less than 2. So we'll push math, enter. And it tells us that 7 over 6 or 7 pi over 6 is what we're looking for. So we're going to look around. There's 7 pi over 6. The cosine, according to our chart, is your first ordered pair. Negative square root of 3 over 2. Cosine is not affected by a negative. That's your answer. Okay, now this one I chose this specifically because a lot of people get kind of confused when they just see a 3 pi. Remember, we're disregarding the pi because that gives us some gross decimals because, for example, that's just a way big of a number. So we're going to look at just 3. 3 is not less than 2. So we're going to subtract away 2 of our radians because we're dealing with the unit circle here. So 3 minus 2 is 1, which is less than 2. So we have 1 pi. Not sure why that 1 pi confuses people, but it's confused people in the past. So we're going to look, boom, 1 pi. Cosine is your first answer, negative 1. Your answer for this problem is negative 1. You're going to have an attachment tomorrow on Thursday's lesson that will give you more unit circle to practice with. It will also end with a few radian to degrees. This is what the paper copy looks like for those of you who will see it tomorrow. But it ends with 10 questions on converting radians to degrees, just to make sure you haven't forgot that. Now remember, converting radians to degrees, if you're given a degree, it's a very simple problem of putting your degree over 180. So 355 over 180, get a decimal. We don't like decimals. We're going to keep it in fraction form. 71 over 36. Radians must have a pi, and it always goes on top. 71 pi over 36. Same thing here. If we have this 209 pi over 36, in order to do this problem, you're going to take whatever number is found on top, which is 209, and you're going to multiply it by 180. It's a very large number at 37,620. Carry your 36 over, so you're going to divide by that 36. You get an angle measurement of 1,045 degrees. That is going to help you save some time for those of you who are getting the pi's mixed up. If you were given a degree, put it over 180, reduce, put pi on top. If you're given a radian, multiply the top by 180, drop the pi, divide by bottom. That's going to save y'all some time.